Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. We are back with the Ted Show. You guys know what time of year this is. This is giving back season. November is known as the Thanksgiving month, and it kind of kicks off an entire last 2 months where I just believe humanity begins to realize they need to give back. But my guest today, Gus Martinez, does that 24/7 with Miles of Help Through Christ, and they have an event coming up on the 21st to feed the homeless. So we're going to learn all about that and learn all about Gus. Welcome, Gus.
Hey, Ted, thank you so much for having us here. We are so glad to be able to reach out to all of your listeners.
I'm very excited to have you guys. You know, Melissa is an amazing advocate. So shout out to Melissa Rodriguez for all she does. So I want to start with beginnings, though. So tell us a little bit about you before we take a deep dive. We've already got questions on how people can get involved and help, and we'll address all those toward the end of the broadcast. But tell us about you.
Well, I'm going to skim through history just not to bore you, but I grew up in East Harlem, New York, in a matriarch home where my mom was a single mom. So we pretty much lived in the ghettos of East Harlem in New York. Um, and, it was a struggle to climb through and out of the poverty level. Um, we never went hungry. Thank God. My mom always had food, always did something. And, there was just a couple of things that impacted my life of that childhood. And it was embedded in me by my mom that if I should see someone hungry, that I should feed them. So as a young man, I made it a habit that if I had any leftover food at the restaurant, I would ask them to box it up and I'd just come and give it to one of the fellas in the neighborhood. And there was always somebody who was happy to accept that.
Sure.
So that kind of impacted me. I went through a career of information technology, which is what I still do. I work in information technology. So this nonprofit that I run, it's a volunteer thing. It's my passion. It's not the salary that pays the mortgage. So
it usually isn't, my friend. It usually
so
isn't. It's a
so I
passion
have two
project.
full-time jobs. One that's paid by my boss, and one that's paid by God.
Amen to that. All right. So
Um,
why Miles of Help Through Christ? Tell us a little bit about the organization before we talk about the event. I love the name of it, but why Miles of Help?
well, it started back. I was invited to take tracks to the coalition. Back then, the coalition was the old building where they would charge $1 for the homeless to sleep on the concrete floor. It was like little tight parking spaces. But my friend took me there for the first time, and I guess it was 2007, and this thing just blew my mind. And being from New York, it's kind of hard to be impacted by anything. But to me, it looked like somebody had thrown away a whole bunch of people, and they were just out in the littered in the street. And I could not understand it because New York, as bad as it is, always takes care of its homeless. They give them the option, hey, come on to the shelter. From the shelter, they move through housing and all of that stuff. So for me, I just did not sleep for the next 6 months trying to find leaders from the church and people to talk to about that whole situation until one brother came to me and said, hey, what you're looking for, God already put in you. Stop looking. And that just blew me away. And then it was Hurricane Katrina, I think it was. Um, and that's when I organized the first outing. It wasn't even an organization yet. Hey, let's just go share food. Because we got all of these things, the homelessness, the destitute, the loss of faith. We got all of those things right here in Orlando. Just bringing our food.
Look who
And
else we
and
have.
there's my beautiful wife.
Hi,
Hi
Paloma.
guys. Hi. I
How are
am so
you?
sorry I'm late.
No, no,
I
no, no. It's
finally
fine. We
figured
were
out the
just getting the
technology.
story. I'm so happy you were able to get on.
I am happy to be invited and sharing this time with you guys. Ted, you are doing amazing in your show, and I know a lot of people love you, and I love you.
Oh, well, you're going to make me cry. I
Well,
appreciate
I
that,
told
though,
you she's
very
just
much.
absolutely awesome. And she looks really great considering the mountain of work she's under.
I mean, no offense, Gus, but she's definitely better to look at than you.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
well, considering what I was just doing 10 minutes ago, I'm surprised that you guys are saying that.
So Gus was telling us, Paloma, he started to give us, he gave us a little background, and then we were starting to talk about how Miles of Help came into play. And so that's kind of where we're at. I don't know if you want to take it from there, Paloma, or you, Gus, you want to finish.
Yeah,
I
she's
never
got
get
to
in the
wait a
middle of
little.
married
We
couples
always,
ever.
She's got to wait a little bit to get into the picture. Historically.
my husband always say that he has the last words in the house, which are whatever you say,
Yeah,
mommy.
yes, honey, you're
So,
right.
so whatever.
Exactly.
In this case, I'm gonna allow him to go ahead and make a choice which one
She's
he
allowing
wants
you,
to
and no
answer.
truer words have been
Thank you for the
spoken, Gus.
permission. So, the organization started that night after we went and shared the first 60 plates of food. I was just so blown away how I got swarmed, and it was with love. It wasn't anything rude or nasty like people make the homeless to be. And so that went on in that living room. I incorporated the organization. I said, this can't stop here. This has to keep going. And now we're going on 11 years since that happened. But that first year is when I started the Thanksgiving event. And it started at the graffiti yard where the new stadium now sits.
Yes, yeah,
There used to be an old graffiti yard there. I don't know if you remember that.
I do. I absolutely do. Yep.
We did our first three Thanksgiving there. And so fast forward down the line about 3.5 years ago, my wife and I started dating, and we brought her organization together with mine. And when we got married a few months later, we married the organizations as well. And this is
Nice.
where she comes in historically.
Woo, that is a good setup. All right,
Well, but he
Paloma,
failed.
tell us
He
about
failed.
that.
He failed to say that we did not only marry the organizations because we chose to. This is something that the mighty of God had planned all along, I believe, because the way it worked, it could only be described as a miracle. I mean, when God told me this was my husband, he was my husband, I was like, really, Gus Martinez? Really, God? So I said I said in prayer, let it be thy will. Whatever you say, God, we will do. And now that almost 4 years later, I see the hand of God working in our ministries and the reason why He put us together, because there was no way I could accomplish as much as alone as if I was married to Him, because He's been the backbone, the strength, and everything that have allowed me to work so hard to grow this both of these organizations. But yeah, talking about a little bit about changing rooms, it was something that came to my heart after 7 or 8 years of getting ready. God tried to get me ready, not warning me how much work it was going to be.
And
I
she's
thought it
not
was just
kidding.
a calling, but now I'm saying this is not a calling. This is penitence. No, I'm just kidding. But it is. It was amazing when he says, "You are ready. Let's get change your room off the ground, and you're gonna be blessed." And right after that minute, change your room has been growing nonstop. We have reached 13, about between 13 and 15 countries already, through
Wow.
the hands and the hearts of our leaders, international leaders. We are able to send thousands of pounds of provisions over to Venezuela, Santo Domingo, all these countries that need our help. And also, we've been able to answer every relief effort that has been out there with like the hurricanes, etc. We also process tons and tons of provisions through the humble home of Changing Room, which is Morningstar. And I'm here at the amazing office of this place. Morningstar Storage has been my home, the reason why we are able to reach thousands of people on a daily basis, not once a year, guys, on a daily basis. We process all these donations through the facilities, and they allow us to have the space that we need to make this happen. So, um, not like any typical organization out there. We started serving, not asking for financial support. We wanted to prove to the world that the effort can be done with the blessings of God and not with the millions of dollars that people
Amen.
usually ask to do this kind of work. And we proved that we achieved the goal of showing that. But now it's a little
And
bit
this is where I interrupt her and
more.
say, now we need the millions of dollars for the factory, for the warehouse that we need.
But now it's like incredible. I just finished picking up 15 pallets of food and 300 boxes of ready-made meals. And this is only done by a few people because we don't have enough space. And like I said, if you would have seen me 10 minutes ago, what I was doing before this interview, you will cry. You will say, "No, there's no way. That's
It is inhumane.
I think the first thing that strikes me is that you said that you're doing it every day. This just isn't a Thanksgiving thing. This
Mm.
is a daily feeding, and you can take that as physical feeding, soulfully, spiritually feeding. You are feeding a hungry people, which takes so much time and so much energy and so much effort, which is why this event is so important, especially around this time before you came on live, Paloma. People really, really do get into the giving mode. So let's capitalize on that. I'll use that word. That's not something charities usually do. I want to use it and say, let's capitalize on it. Let's get people involved in your event on the 21st. So tell us a little bit about the Feed the Homeless event on November 21st.
Go ahead, Mrs. Martinez.
I am not sure what's going on. It sounds a little bit off on my side.
Oh, that's your speaker? Okay, I'll take over. So what we try to do, what is that? I'm hearing like a grinding noise. Is that on
That's
my end
her.
only?
I'm
Oh,
mute her.
that's you. Okay.
I
Okay.
got it.
Okay, thanks. So basically, what we do is we've always tried to make it a large collaborative event to get others involved. And no time is more necessary than now because now we are facing this pandemic with such an immeasurable unemployment rate and so much necessity. That is why Mrs. Martinez and I are so much busier since this all started. So because there's so many people and so many restrictions they're putting on us in the city of Orlando, it's going to be a lot harder of an event where we normally by this time have about 250 registered volunteers. We only have about 65 registered volunteers right now, and I'm going to go ahead and post that volunteer form so that you
Oh,
guys can
good.
register.
Good.
Yes, we have an awesome team. We have an awesome plan for COVID, and honestly, I can tell you this is probably going to be the hardest event of all. But like I said, I try to make it a collaborative event because we need those organizations to come together in partnership with us and help us share the cost. Because not only did we incur more costs because of masks and 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 gloves and all that us extra stuff we need to buy and all the extra requirements that the city of Orlando requires us to have, but the city of Orlando also increased the price of the park this year by $740 compared to last year, and they also increased the deposit another $300. It went from $200 to $500. So we
Wow.
do need partnerships in car sharing. You can get a table for $200 and help us share in the cost. Um, it's not going to be like the table that Jesus turned over with the money exchanges. There's not going to be any money exchanging going on. But you can bring your business, your church, your ministry, and share your literature, your brochures, and collect those cards that people fill out with information for you to get back to them. Um,
Yes.
so we do need to cover the cost, and if you're out there, you're listening, your business wants to partake in this, you want to show off your company shirts, your pop-up banners, and share all that information. Just give me a call. I'll also post my number on there.
Good.
I'm just trying to get my mouse to work to where I can get that volunteer
I think
form
that, and then
and
is
put it up
the
there.
website is down there too. You can post your number, and then the website is milesofhelpthroughchrist.com. And of course, I tagged Gus and Paloma, so you can reach them in a million different ways. And if you can't reach them, reach out to me, and I'll reach out to them. And VIP Mortgage is a proud sponsor. We are honored
Absolutely.
to be part of that, and we're so businesses get involved. There's a way for you to get involved, and the volunteers so important. So you can go, I assume, to the site milesofhelpthroughchrist.com, and you can get the information on being a volunteer, contributing, giving back, doing something. This date is a week from Saturday, and then of course the following week is Thanksgiving. So it's just going to be a needy next 6 to 8 weeks. We're going to have a lot of people who are in need this time of year, especially. And so I am just honored to work with you guys. I'm proud and blessed by what you and Paloma and your organization do, Gus.
I appreciate that. And, Thanksgiving is usually an event that we usually collect enough funds to carry us over into next year. It pays for our Christmas Miracle for Homeless Kids, which is coming up December 19th. And it pays for our Three Kings Day, which is January 6th or around there. Unfortunately, like most organizations, we've taken a big hit, but we're not gonna close our doors. We're gonna keep working. Mrs. Martinez has had to do the gruesome work of moving stuff around and making it fit into less space. But that's okay. God called us to serve. That's what we're here to do.
Yes.
We're here to serve. And if you wanna volunteer, whether it's at this event, any other event, or to go help Paloma at the storage units, you can fill out that registration form. You can contact her on Facebook, or you can call me. We'll hook you up. We got plenty of time, and we do the community service hours for Orange County Corrections and Orange County Schools and all of that stuff.
That is, I mean, it's just what you all do is so awesome, and I am just, again, honored to be part of it. So Gus and Paloma Martinez, milesofhelpthroughchrist.com. The event, Feed the Homeless, is November 21st. You can still volunteer. You can still get involved. You can still cut a check. You can do all of those things, plus a whole lot more. Get to know about Gus and Paloma's mission and all the good that they're doing in the world with their organization. But you guys are a blessing. Thank you so much for all you do in our community. Just proud to be part of it.
We're so happy to be here. Hey, thank you for that
God bless you
on
all.
the t-shirts. Your logo looks fabulous on the back of the t-shirt.
Yeah.
You got to send me the info where I need to send you the t-shirt.
Get involved. We got involved. There are ways for you to get involved still. Reach out to Paloma and Gus and their team, and go to the website. Reach out to me. It's so critical. Don't think it's too late. There is plenty of work to do and plenty of people to feed. It's never ending. So please give back to this organization's awesome. So thank you guys. God bless you both. God bless you, Melissa, for the intro. November 21st, guys. Reach out, get involved. milesofhelpthroughchrist.com. All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Thanks, guys.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you, guys.
Mwah.